Okay, I'll go ahead and get us started. Hi, everyone. Welcome again to the quarterly all-staff meeting. It's great to have you with us. We have a lot of wonderful updates for you today. Just want to make sure that you know that if you have any questions, please go ahead and submit those using the Zoom webinar Q&A feature. And then if you see a question that's been asked that you also wanted to ask, you can click the thumbs up icon to upvote it so we know that it's of particular importance to you. And then we just want to make sure that everyone stays up to date. Communication is so important. We want everyone to have the latest and greatest. So you can find updates on our E&T intranet site. Remember that the E&T news bulletins and 5-minute briefs come out via email. So make sure you check your email every chance you get to get updated information there, as well as on the TV screens throughout our operational areas. So it is my pleasure to welcome to Events and Transportation our newest group of new employees. So from Parking Enforcement, we have Michael Avalos. Welcome, Michael. And we have Mari Crovero in FSA. We have Dante Foster in Fleet and Transit. We have Dolly Herrera, also in Fleet and Transit. Patria Nelson, also in Fleet and Transit. Oh. Alexis Powell, also in Fleet and Transit. Mike Reyes from FSA. Hector Rojas, also from Fleet and Transit. And Kelvin Axel, also from Fleet and Transit. So welcome. We're so glad to have you at E&T. And now I'm going to kick it over to Veronica Martinez for some updates. Oh, Veronica, you're muted.
Sorry about that. You would think after how many years of using Zoom. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Veronica Martinez, and I'm the Health and Human Resources Manager for E&T. I'm presenting for Central Administration. A reminder about compliance training. The Vice Chancellor's Office has deemed timely completion of compliance training a high priority. E&T's completion rate is typically around 95%. If you can please help us maintain this level by completing your assigned training in a timely manner. All mandatory compliance training is assigned by Campus Human Resources, and notifications are sent out when classes are assigned. Reminders are automatically generated and sent out 30, 15, 7, 5, and 1 day before the due date. If you run into issues with modules or cannot access them on the Learning Management System, which is also known as LMS, please contact Kimberly Jimenez. The occupants in the Strathmore building recently participated in a fire drill. The UC Fire Department gave us high marks regarding our response time and commended us on everyone gathering safely at the newly designated evacuation assembly area. So thanks to all of you who made it a success. As a reminder, the evacuation assembly area for Strathmore occupants has been relocated to the area in between the Gonda building and parking structure 9, so across the street. All other evacuation areas remain the same. More safety training will be happening soon, so stay tuned. The Work Environment Survey, also known as WES, W-E-S, for 2024 recently ended on April 19th. It happens every other year and provides an opportunity for everyone to give leadership feedback about their work environment in an anonymous manner. Results will be provided at a later date and are used to enhance work environments. Thank you all who provided feedback. Employee Services has been working to make the onboarding process more seamless by creating a more streamlined way to request building access, email addresses, computer equipment, and more for newly hired career, contract, limited appointment, and student employees. The new process will include an email notification sent from Smartsheet that will request the hiring manager to provide the employee's UCLA logon, also known as your Bruin Online logon. needed building access, computer equipment, and software. Once this information is received, notifications will be sent to Health and Human Resources for training purposes, training and organizational development for orientation and employee announcements, assets for building access, IT for computer equipment, email, and system access. Please remember that new employees can create their UCLA logon or their Bruin Online account prior to their first day of work. Hiring managers will need to obtain this information from the new employee once they've created it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact Employee Services. An update to some new systems. Campus Human Resources has implemented many new software applications over the last few months, including a new UCLA career site to submit your applications for positions that are open, JD Expert, which is the new job description management software, iCIMS, ICIMS, which is a new recruitment software where job requisitions will be created and where hiring managers can review applications. And CHR is now using Universal Background Screening, also known as UBS, to process new hire background checks. Due to the way these background checks are being processed, we are experiencing some longer than usual wait times. Your patience is very much appreciated. Our current job opportunities are in the transit operations area for part-time paratransit operators, requisition 1949, and full-time Bruin bus transit operators, requisition 2058. Please share with your family and friends about our open positions. Lastly, are you thinking about retiring? If so, please go to the UC Retirement at Your Service site, which is also known as UC Raise. The website address is on your screen to start the process. The portal began accepting submissions April 1st for retirements that will be effective July 1st, I'm sorry. The sooner forms are submitted, the better to avoid any delays in receiving your first retirement payment. Don't forget to inform your supervisor to ensure all transactions are completed before your retirement date. We're also available to provide any assistance. Thank you for your time, and I'm going to pass it over to Robin Bell from Training and Organizational Development for employee engagement updates.
Thanks so much, Veronica. I appreciate the welcome. So welcome, everybody. I'm Robin Bell, as it says, Training and Organizational Development. I'm going to take the next couple minutes to highlight some of our star performers and also share with you some of the upcoming events that we have that will kick off our summer months. So let's get started. So let's kick it off with our Employee of the Month recipients. So we're picking up where we last left off back in January. So for our January Employee of the Month recipients, we have Tarek Ramsey representing our events office. And we also have Myra Delgado from our Fleet and Transit unit. For the month of February, we have Laura Orvignanos from our Parking Assets team and Yvonne Popacoa from Central Admin. So they were our February Employee of the Month recipients. For the month of March, we have Luis Lopez from our Parking Enforcement team. And let's not forget about Rylan Liu from MPTS, Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems. So let's give them a round of applause for their hard work and dedication to the organization and just always pushing that envelope. So let's not forget about our Student Employee of the Month recipients. So we have our January Student Employee of the Month, which was Jesus Mu. He was from our Bruin Commuter Programs. And then we also have Aaron Geary from Bruin Commuter Programs as well. So Aaron was our February Employee of the Month recipient. Rounding out the month of March, we have Jack Hill from our valet team. And we will be announcing our April Employee of the Month recipients shortly, so please stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's give them all a round of applause for our star performers and especially our students that really kind of make that difference and help support us whenever needed. So thank you to all of them. So spring is in the air. Actually, spring is not in the air. Spring is here, right? So I just wanted to, share with you some of the events that will be coming up in the month of June. So we're ramping up for celebrating our employees, which is always an amazing thing to do. So to kick us off, we will be hosting our Employee of the Year celebration. That is slated for Wednesday, June 5th. And this is where we will be announcing and recognizing our 2 Employee of the Year recipients. So 1 recipient from administration and 1 recipient from our operational side of the house. So it's a great day. We celebrate with a nice luncheon with the supervisors invited and just get to share in the experience. So stay tuned for photos that we'll make sure to post on the intranet after that. Our summer employee celebration, which is one of my favorites, that's where we will be enjoying some barbecue together, kicking our heels up, maybe, hitting the volleyball around or whatever floats your boat for that day. But we are still trying to nail down a date. June is busy, so another stay tuned for that. But that will be happening the week after commencement. So once we survive commencement and all of that, we will be celebrating. So stay tuned for the venue as well as the date. Retirement celebration, as Veronica mentioned, if you're planning on retiring, we want to celebrate you. So we always keep the last week of June for the time that we will plan a celebration. So if we do have anyone retiring, that's one more party that we will be enjoying together. So that's basically what's coming. Again, keep your eye on bulletins, on the TV screens and all of that. And of course, any questions, you know where to reach me. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm now going to kick it over to Catherine Yan, AKA Kat, from Commuter and Parking Services.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Yam, and I'm presenting on behalf of Commuter and Parking Services. We have a couple units, so I'll walk you through each of their recent developments. So let's kick it off with CNPS administration. In partnership with TOD and PPM, CNPS admin launched the Customer Champions program in March using lean team aspects such as visualization management. Both teams are tackling projects to help improve customer service within CNPS. There are 2 teams currently in the process of projects surrounding wayfinding and student employee retention. Both teams have been working diligently and are expected to continue work for at least 90 days. Okay, moving on to the next update. As a professional development initiative, CNPS admin has began budget learning sessions. These sessions will be held on an ongoing basis and are offered to all CNPS employees responsible for using departmental funds. They're led by managers with budget expertise from each unit and cover a variety of topics such as revenue and expenses, variances, and how to use the UCLA ledger. They're intended to help provide a clearer understanding of the budget process and give employees the opportunity to ask questions. So lastly, in an effort to improve customer service levels and support student employee development, the CNPS admin team has created a 3-part customer service training series. These trainings will begin this month and be offered to all student employees in CNPS. They will cover 3 topics: understanding customer psychology, strategic customer communication, and workplace resilience and managing stress. Moving on to the Burn commuter programs. Effective July 1st, the Clean Fuel Incentive Program and permits will be discontinued. Communications were sent out in January and March to departmental commute coordinators to assist customers in returning and transferring permits. Additionally, all students, faculty, and staff with active clean fuel permits were notified earlier this month about the discontinuation of the program and given steps on how to obtain a different parking permit. We will continue to offer complimentary charging on a first-come, first-served basis in numerous parking structures, and efforts are ongoing to expand EV charger inventory on campus. Our next update is that since February 1st, the number of active vehicles that can be associated with an active permit has been reduced from 5 to 2. This change was made in effort to stop potential permit sharing violations, as well as decrease the chance of erroneous citations. An announcement was posted on frequently visited pages of our website, and the Bruin e-permit portal has been updated to reflect this change to customers. Our third update is in reflection to citations. The Citation Review and Adjudication Office has implemented a new internal code. that became effective March 1st. This code is referred to as Code 45 and will be primarily used for customers, repeat offenders that have been identified as abusing the appeal system. We hope that the implementation of the new code will assist customers in abiding by UCLA parking rules and regulations. And then our fourth update is about Form Assembly being integrated into Salesforce. For those of you who don't know, Form Assembly is an online form builder and data collection platform that allows us to quickly create forms and collect information from our customers. This integration has allowed us to enhance our operational efficiency by assisting us in the creation of a new process regarding EV charger maintenance requests. We anticipate being able to use it for employee coupon codes next. And our last point is regarding the all hands on deck sign-up sheet. Communications are expected to be sent out soon, and we ask that people consider signing up to be an ambassador during commencement week. With that, I'll start speaking on our medical operations and offsite property unit developments. So to start, I'm going to go over some of the projects we currently have underway. We have the Parking Access Revenue Control System project, which is an ongoing project to replace our end-of-life parking equipment. Then we have the Reagan Network project, which is a project surrounding implementing Wi-Fi in the parking garage. This is important to support the current valet equipment as well as possible new equipment. Then there's the Electronic Key Access project, which involves unifying the electronic keys that are currently used on campus and Medical Plaza to the asset real estate equipment. These are good audit tools that allow usage to be tracked. Another thing we're working on is in-house driving tests. We are currently working with the insurance and risk management team to bring the driving test for our driving staff in-house. We're currently utilizing a vendor for this service and we would like to change that. Then we have our projects in collaboration with AMC. We're working with the AMC team to update our new hire training video, as it will give new hires an overview of what to expect when onboarding. Then we're also working with AMC as we continue to improve our wayfinding throughout the Medical Plaza. So apart from those projects I just mentioned, we have improvements that we've made to our unit's efficiency. With the integration of 2 new smart sheet forms, we were able to simplify tracking processes, such as the hospital space leasing and university vehicle checkouts. We also have created a customer service survey dashboard. This dashboard displays the customer service scores for the past 3 years for the team to view on our TV monitors to remind us about our customer satisfaction goals. Now I'll move forward with presenting the updates for our parking assets unit. So I'll start with our tenant improvement projects. The old inventory room will be converted into a storage room. Shelving will be installed and pre-assigned to each unit. There'll be an area for package deliveries as well as a lay-down area for units to utilize during large events such as the Sustainable Transportation Fair and Bike Week. For more details, contact Zulema Hernandez. We also want to move forward with the break room renovation as it is currently in the design phase, so be on the lookout for fun ways to contribute to the new look. Then regarding the old special events office, it will be transformed into a meeting room due to lack of conference room availability. The divider wall will be demoed to create one large meeting space that you'll be able to reserve on your Outlook calendars. So additionally, 2 new murals will be coming to the Flex and Fleet and Transit room. If you are interested in having pictures of your team's events and or awards, email them to Diana Cortez. And finally, in terms of tenant improvement projects, Fleet and Transit is leading the efforts of creating a new collaboration space in the Flex area with the support of the Parking Assets Facilities Management team. Be on the lookout for some exciting changes. So I'm going to wrap it up going over some of the electric vehicle charging projects we have. First, we have the parking structure for charging outlets that are coming soon. Once the project is completed, we'll have an additional 68 level 1 outlets and 5 ADA level 2 overhead chargers. This will complete the first phase of level 1 EV charging installation. As a quick recap, we've added EV charging to 4 parking structures already. Those are structures 1, 2, 5, and 8, which account for 158 level 1 outlets and 7 level 2 ADA chargers on campus. Lastly, we have the EV signage pilot project. This is a collaboration between the Parking Assets and Bruin Commuter Programs team. They've been working together to create an easier solution for users to report EV maintenance issues. The team is piloting a QR code in parking structure 9 that will lead users to a form where they can report necessary information to us so that we can properly and efficiently troubleshoot our chargers. If successful, we plan to add more QR codes that will lead to an EV landing page where users can find useful information regarding electric vehicle charging. Thank you for your time. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Magali from Finance Systems and Analytics.
Thank you, Kat. Hello, my name is Magali de los Santos, and I will be presenting for the FSA team. Starting with finance, Ascend 2.0 is on track to launch in 2025. Bruin Finance and the second release of Bruin by Plus are scheduled to launch in January 2025. Finance is working hard to address issues with new financial units in the new chart of accounts. The next 8 months will involve a great deal of collaboration with E&T units to ensure the department is ready for the transition to the new business system. This will be a challenging task, but also an opportunity to make improvement to reflect the current state of E&T. Moving on to the Technology Project Management Group in collaboration with Application Development Team, the Fleet Anywhere Migration to Cloud Project. Fleet and Transit has embarked on an ambitious project to fully revamp their billing system and concurrently migrate their fleet management information system to the cloud. On March 1st, the first of 3 phases was successfully completed, which moved the fleet anywhere to the hosted environment, thus allowing more efficient and less time-consuming upgrades to the fleet management information system. Both Ken and Son from the IT group contributed to the completion of this phase. The next phase will allow fund managers direct access to customizable reports on the campus Tableau environment. The transit portal is moving forward to a Salesforce platform. Basic functional requirements were defined and a contract with a third-party vendor, Urgency, to perform the development has been completed. The team meets weekly with a goal to launch the new portal in the fall of 2024. UPass winter renewals and virtual passes. The winter quarter release included the following changes. Due to Metro's new process, customers are now given the activation code and then use it to load the product to their tap card using the Metro portal or app. Priyanka and Armando updated the transit portal so that it would handle the activation code inventory and assignment, thus eliminating the administrative burden on the CRM team who had to manually send the activation codes in the previous quarter. The carpool logic was removed for all customer types, which means customers in carpools can still purchase subsidized products. The Air Quality Management District 2024 survey launched on March 8th. The survey measures the success of our sustainable transportation programs and assists in calculating emission reductions. During the winter quarter, in collaboration with IT and mobility planning and traffic systems, the configuration, preparation, and coordination was performed. A few process improvements were implemented to improve the performance and user experience. In addition, a new requirement was added to capture the vehicle miles traveled from the recipients. In the future, this will become mandatory for the AQMD surveys. Therefore, by capturing this now, the team can work out any kinks with the data gathering and analysis. Ascend 2.0. The teams have been diligently working both with the Ascend teams and internally to prepare for the converting of our boundary systems from FAU to chart of accounts. Next is the IT group, which has collaborated with TPMG in various projects, including the EJ Ward cloud migration. EJ Ward is a vendor that provides the fuel control system that is utilized at the Fleet Yard fueling station. The system was hosted in the E&T data center, but it was outdated and needed to be replaced by a new cloud system hosted by the vendor. ITG and TPMG collaborated with Fleet Services and the vendor to test a new system along with several different interfaces. After a lengthy IT security review and working through several technical issues with the vendors, the project was successfully completed in February of 2024. Overall, this was a challenging effort that highlighted the value of teamwork and communication. To conclude, the analytics team has finalized work on the annual State of the Commute report. They've worked with OED and Bruin commuter programs to identify customers for satisfaction surveys. They've provided analysis on Bruin Bus and Bruin Access performance to enable data-driven responses to customer issues. And partnered with Fleet and Transit, they've analyzed fleet vehicle maintenance costs per mile in support of life cycle cost reduction efforts. Lastly, they completed a review of university vehicle accidents to address associated costs. This project will continue to phase 2 in partnership with Fleet and Transit on data-driven mitigation efforts. Thank you, and I will pass it on to Zenia Chamorro for Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zenia Chamorro, and I will be presenting for Mobility Planning and Traffic Systems today. Starting with our public transit, we have stats from our student pass sales and ridership. The undergraduate U-Pass program kicked off this past fall. We have had almost 20,000 transit passes distributed to our undergrads, which is a 744% increase from fall 2022's transit pass orders. So overall, we've had approximately 15,000 passes sold for winter quarter and approximately 45,500 sold since the start of the academic year. The Tier 1 pilot program has also been made permanent. This program allows full-time employees in administration that earn less than $68,000 to be eligible for fare-free transit passes. Also, our employee passes will be condensed to one starting in summer quarter. It will be priced at $60, which is a discounted price from our currently offered price at $120. In regards to the Metro Purple line, or I'm sorry, the D line, the extension is complete. Westwood's UCLA station is slated to open in 2027, and the La Cienega station is slated to open in 2025. In regards to our active transportation planner, Emily Hahn, hosted a league cycling instructor seminar this past weekend of April 12th to 14th. This year's cohort included 12 candidate students, including our campus bike shop manager, Nate. The seminar is there to teach people how to teach bike safety education and safely lead group rides, and hosting these seminars supports our bike-friendly university application. We also want to give a shout out to Ray for letting the LCI seminar use his office as a bike storage. For more news in active transportation, we have Bike Month coming up next week. Emily will be hosting some morning pit stops during the week, including a luncheon. If you're interested in volunteering, we have 3 volunteer opportunities. On Tuesday, May 14th from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., there will be a pit stop on LeConte and Westwood. On Wednesday, May 15th from 9 to 11, there will be a pit stop at the Louval Commons. And on Thursday, May 16th from 11 to 1, we will be hosting the Bike Week Luncheon. So if you're interested in signing up, you'll be rewarded with free food, a Bike Month t-shirt, and a lot of gratitude from Emily. Please contact her at ehan@ts.ucla.edu. Also, we have numerous traffic signals on campus being upgraded with a bike-sensitive actuation loops. This will allow the traffic signals to sense when there are cyclists waiting at the red lights. Moving on to our traffic planning, there will be accessible signals being added to the PS8 driveway, which is the median in front of Strathmore Building. It's currently under construction. For news on the Cogent plant upgrade, there will be a crane closure starting May 6th. So on Charles E. Young Drive south between Gailey Avenue and Westwood Plaza, it will be closed from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekdays until mid-September. All closures may go into effect for a few days during this period. For our bus bay project on CEY Drive North, between Westwood and the PS7 traffic signal, there will be heavily constrained and at some points closed from July 16th to September 16th. Bus parking capacity will be added along the south curb and the north side bus parking will be improved. For some tracking and reporting updates, we have finished the 2023 State of the Commute report and it has been released. The Fall Student Mobility Survey has been completed as well. As you can see from the pie chart to the right, our 3 highest transportation modes were walking at 33.4%, public transit at 24.4%, and off-campus students who drove alone in a gas or hybrid car were at 19.3%. In UCLA business-related air travel news, we have received back the data for the 2023 travel gas emissions, and business-related travel has been increased to 119% from pre-COVID levels. Thank you, and I will pass it on to our next panelist, Matt Clute.
morning. I'm Matt Footy with updates for Fleet and Transit. We'll begin with Fleet Service, who is delighted to announce the successful migration of our fuel software EJ Ward to a cloud-based server. This transition has enabled UCLA to eliminate upfront hardware investments and ongoing maintenance costs associated with local servers. EJ Ward manages all on-campus fuel transactions. This will streamline and automate processes from fuel pump transactions to seamless integration into the billing system. Next, we have two significant projects at Transit. The first project entails the construction of a wash bay currently in the design phase. EH&S and the City of Los Angeles have prohibited open-air washing due to concerns of groundwater contamination. The elevated levels of heavy metals, likely from brake and tire wear and possibly from the 405, have necessitated the development of a new compliant wash bay. The runoff from the new facility will be carefully collected and treated by a clarifier. This measure ensures that our efforts to maintain environmental responsibility by safeguarding the groundwater of the Bologna Creek watershed. In preparation for the wash bay construction, the old CNG compressors will be decommissioned and dismantled. UCLA's transition to electric vehicles in compliance with state and UCOP guidelines renders the old compressors obsolete. Additionally, the finalization of the new bus replacement plan is imminent, which will outline the replacement of the remaining CNG buses. The second project entails 8 120 kilowatt DC fast chargers to support the new electric buses. These fast chargers will be powered by a 30,000 amp switchgear, which is capable of providing power for the new chargers and accommodating potential future charging projects. The project is expected to be completed by April 2025. In the meantime, we have acquired temporary mobile fast chargers. And lastly, we have 3 new level 2 charging clusters. Broome Car is adding a cluster of chargers to PS4 level 1. UCPD is currently installing 3 new chargers behind the police station to support admin vehicles. And housing will be installing 2 chargers in the Sunset Village parking structure in the spring. Thank you. And now Bill Sweeney from the events office.
Thank you very much, Matt. So I'll be presenting for the UCLA Events Office. In our last all-staff meeting, we talked about commencement. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing after commencement through the summer of 2024. The number one event we have going this summer is the return of the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, which will be happening on Saturday, July 13th. It's the 37th annual, so they've done this 37 years. For all the old timers out there. It's been around for a while now at this point. So the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards is really kind of made up of 3 separate events. The main show, the main thing that we'll be working on is inside Poly Pavilion. It'll be a live broadcast kind of in the afternoon to late afternoon of that day. Before that, they have the orange carpet pre-show for media. And these days it's just as much social media influencers as well. But that'll be on the IM field, on the south half of the IM field, closest to Poly Pavilion. Also, the drop-off for all the celebrities will be from inside of P7. So we'll have to be working closely with the special events parking office and traffic control to make sure that area is secure, because the limos and other vehicles dropping off celebrities will be coming into P7 and they'll go up the elevator or the stairs right up to the IM field. And then after the party is, after the show is the VIP post party for kind of usually it's employees of Nickelodeon or, contest winners. Typically there's not like the top celebrities don't go to this one. It's more for families. And right now it's scheduled for Wilson Plaza. So we're not any stranger to this event. It did happen in Poly Pavilion for a number of years between 2004 and 2010. At that time, it took place in the spring, and it aligned nicely with our schedule because it took place during UCLA spring break. But after 2010, they switched the dates of when they had to hold it, and there was no longer any date availability in Poly Pavilion, so it went away for a while. This year, they decided to move the Kids' Choice Awards to summertime. So they called UCLA because they did like working at UCLA. So they got back hold of us, and we were able to make it happen working with UCLA Recreation. So they carved out a space in Poly Pavilion for this to happen in the beginning of July. Some of you also might remember there was also another Nickelodeon show that was at UCLA for a little bit from 2014 to 2017. We hosted the Kids' Choice Sports Awards, but that award show ended up going away. Nickelodeon let us know they no longer actually produce that show anymore. But Nickelodeon's not the only thing we're going to be doing this summer. This is just a small sample of other events we'll be working on. There's a kind of high-profile conference held in Royce Hall called the All-In Summit, which is a 3-day conference for technology and business with a number of presenters. And then what they do during breaks of the conference and at the evening is they have social activities and meals outside of Royce Hall and Dixon Plaza. And that's it. That's the aspect that our office will be working on. In addition to that, UCLA Orientation does a number of different activities all throughout the summer for the newly admitted students and their families. So we work with UCLA Orientation on any of the outdoor setups for either the meals or their social activities. Another large event we work on during the summer is called Anderson Palooza, which also takes place in Dixon Plaza outside of Royce Hall. This is a large event that the Anderson School puts on for all their current students and alumni to bring out their families. So there's food and festival games. And then another kind of the final event I'll talk about is the LA Loves Alex's Lemonade, which has been at UCLA for several years. This is a very large scale kind of food and wine fair to raise money for the nonprofit Alex's Lemonade Stand, which raises money for pediatric cancer. So moving on a little further down the road, the LA 28 Olympics, which I'm sure everyone knows now is coming. Right at this point, recently UCLA has kind of established the executive structure of how UCLA will coordinate and manage the games. The Olympics and the Paralympic villages will be here at UCLA through mid-June, right after commencements is when everything's gonna shut down and Olympics will start building up the fences through mid-June through the end of August of 2028. So at that point, UCLA will be very busy with all the Olympic activities. Under the executive leadership of Michael Beck, our Vice Chancellor, UCLA has set the campus organizational structure for managing the 2024 Olympics and the Paralympic villages, and our Department of Events and Transportation is highly involved in this. Most significantly, Chinsaw Hill, my supervisor and the events office director, was appointed as co-chair of the coordinating committee. So as co-chair of the coordinating committee, Chinsaw will be the point person across all the subcommittees overseeing fiscal, legal, logistical, communications, and campus engagement for the Olympics. And also as the chair or / co-chair, she'll report directly to campus leadership, including Michael Beck and the Chancellor's Cabinet. Also, our executive director, Tony Lucas, will be heading the subcommittee on transportation and circulation. And myself was chosen to be the coordinator for the subcommittee on displacement and restoration. I know that there'll be other staff people from events and transportation involved in all these committees. Right now, we're setting the rosters and supervisors and directors are kind of selecting who would represent on the different committees, but there are different slots for events and transportation staff. And just to give you a quick kind of preview of the scope of what the Olympic Village would be, this is a draft of the Olympic Village secure perimeter. The security is really overseen by the Secret Service because it's such a high profile event. But this red line you see would kind of mark, and this I should emphasize is just a draft. It hasn't been finalized. But this would be giving an idea of the general scope of what the secure area would be. So anything kind of within that red line is going to be a highly secured area. And then there'll even be a secured area of the actual housing area where the athletes will be staying on the hill of the Res Hall. As things get more finalized, the public will be informed and staff will be informed of all the details associated with this operation. So right now, we're still 4 years out. Things are kind of in the preliminary phase, but this is our first kind of look at what it would look like. And that concludes my presentation. So thanks everyone for listening in. I'm gonna I think pass back to Robin or to Steve for questions.
Hi, thanks, Bill. Yeah, it looks like there was one question that came in through the Q&A. I don't know if anybody has any other questions that they wanted to submit now that you've seen all the presentations as a whole. So feel free to do that in the next couple minutes. Or if anybody wants to add anything on the panel, feel free to.
Anyone have any questions on the Olympics coming up? I know Bill just did his slide, so go ahead and submit those if you like. Yeah, there was a question earlier about some of the challenges in transitioning to Brew and Buy Plus. So if that concerns you at all, go ahead and take a look at the Q&A answer to that one from Eric Blue.
Steve, we also have the CTO question in there.
Oh, yes. So, well, as many people know, CTO and E&T will be merging effective July 1st. Paul Abramson is retiring very soon, within a number of handful of days. Hopefully, we'll be able to make an announcement on who's going to be replacing him. That person then, after the departments merge, Paul's replacement will report directly to our executive director, Tony Lucas. So the CTO director will become a member of our senior management team. There was another question, someone asking about possible merit increases for next fiscal year. Yeah, as far as I know, nothing has been set in stone. I know earlier this year there was a percentage number that was floating around. Confidence on whether or not specifically someone was asked for merit increases. I personally feel like that's very unlikely, but now I'll just talk about across the board increase. Difference being the merit increase is when your performance evaluation rating might determine a different increase for you than someone who has a different rating. So the higher your rating, maybe the higher your increase would be. Now, for the last few years, we've only had across the board increases, meaning that those of the non-represented staff have gotten the same increase regardless of your evaluation rating. Now, assuming it's across the board rating this year, that's what I meant when I said it's, as far as I understand, nothing's been set in stone. I don't know if anyone else on the panel has heard anything differently or has heard any other news, because I haven't heard anything on this in a couple of weeks now. Feel free to chime in. I know that in any case, okay. Doesn't look like we have any other updates on that topic. And let's go ahead and move on to some other questions here. Jonah would like to know that everyone's invited to pre-commencement happy hour on May 16th at Barney's. So thank you for that, Jonah. Actually, I don't see any other actual questions, but we can give this another minute. Someone has asked, will there be post-work environment survey interviews again? By those, I assume that they're referring to the 2-on-1 interviews that we did 2 years ago, where members of our monthly strategy group paired up and did a number of 2-on-1 interviews with randomly selected employees with questions having to do with teamwork and whether or not people had the tools to do their job. So that's another one where we haven't 100% decided what to do. My understanding is that I think Commuter and Parking Services has decided they're going to do it either way. So they're just waiting on the rest of the department to decide if we're going to do it department-wide like we did 2 years ago. So that is something that literally had come up in the last week or two, and we were discussing. It does take a lot of effort administratively to put these together, and obviously there's a lot of man hours involved. We want to make sure that if we do it, that it is worth the time that we put into it. So we're basically just still making that determination as far as whether or not we're going to do that department-wide. So stay tuned on that as well. And yeah, I don't see any other questions. We try really hard to make sure that all of the speakers have enough time to say what they need to say without rushing, but also leave plenty of time for question and answers, because we really want to make sure that the audience gets to ask all of their questions and get answered live if possible. So if you've got any more burning questions, feel free to submit them. Otherwise, you know, I'll throw it back to you, Robin.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for attending the Spring Quarter All-Staff Meeting. As always, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to reach out to any of us on the panel. We will be posting the recording on the internet, so please make sure any employees that are holding down the fort while we're attending this meeting live, make sure that they're aware of that. We'll be going out in a bulletin probably tomorrow, and of course it will live on the internet. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon and
Robin.
beautiful weather.
Robin.
Yes?
There is one other Q&A question that just rolled in while you were speaking.
Oh, yes. Let me mute myself.
Yeah, I believe Dave Karwoski had provided an answer to it, but just to voice over it, since we have time, someone had asked. Bicycle sensitive signal loops are being added. Will they work for electric scooters? And Dave K from MBTS had said they should. LADOT has tested those on campus and they do seem to sense scooters. So I thought I'd voice over that for the sake of the recording. We also try to, I believe we still capture all of the typed answers to be posted along with the recording, don't we, Robin?
Yeah, the questions will be posted.
Great, the typed answers. Perfect. Okay then. Well, I think we'll, rather than sit in 12 minutes of awkward silence to see if any more questions come in, we'll go ahead and close this out. But of course, if anyone does have a question that you think of afterwards, feel free to reach out to the appropriate speaker or manager or SMT member. And any of us would be happy to answer your questions. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks, Robin and Gina, as always. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.